Chapter 38 of Revelations of Divine Love, read for LibriVox.org by David Barnes. Revelations of Divine Love by Julian of Norwich. The 13th Revelation, Chapter 38. In heaven, the token of sin is turned to worship. Examples thereof. Also God showed that sin shall be no shame to man, but worship. For right as to every sin is answering a pain by truth, right so for every sin to the same soul is given a bliss by love. Right as diverse sins are punished with diverse pains according as they be grievous, right so shall they be rewarded with diverse joys in heaven, according as they have been painful and sorrowful to the soul on earth. For the soul that shall come to heaven is precious to God, and the place so worshipful that the goodness of God suffereth never that soul to sin that shall come there without that the which sin shall be rewarded. And it is made known without end, and blissfully restored by overpassing worship. For in this sight mine understanding was lifted up into heaven, and then God brought merrily to mind David and others in the old law without number, and in the new law he brought to my mind first Mary Magdalene, Peter and Paul, and those of Ind, and St. John of Beverley, and others also without number, how they are known in the church in earth with their sins, and it is to them no shame, but all is turned for them to worship. And therefore our courteous Lord showeth it thus for them here in part, like as it is there in fullness. For there the token of sin is turned to worship. And St. John of Beverley, our Lord showed him full rightly, in comfort to us for homeliness, and brought to my mind how he is a dear neighbour, and of our knowing. And God called him St. John of Beverley, plainly as we do, and that with a most glad sweet cheer, showing that he is a full high saint in heaven in his sight, and a blissful. And with this he made mention that in his youth and in his tender age he was a dear worthy servant to God, greatly God-loving and dreading, and yet God suffered him to fall, mercifully keeping him that he perish not, nor lost no time. And afterward God raised him to manifold good grace, and by the contrition and meekness that he had in his living, God hath given him in heaven manifold joys, overpassing that which he should have had if he had not fallen. And that this is sooth, God showeth in earth, with plenteous miracles doing about his body continually. And all this was to make us glad and merry in love. End of chapter 38. This recording is in the public domain.